Hi there. Do you like to make fun folds? Like this stamp set here called #Elfie is so much fun. Did you know that actually this stamp set was designed by a Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator, Karen Duke, who lives out in Edmonton, the Edmonton area. Welcome to Stampin' with Diane. I'm Diane Evans. I'm an independent Canadian Stampin' Up demonstrator. This is actually the cute card that we're going to make today. It may be a little bit with different variations, but that's the fun part of stamping, right? So, and these little guys here, you can arrange them anywhere where you want them. So I'm going to let you know what we need for this. Of course, we need this #Elfie stamp set. We're also going to be using Pool Party on this, and this is cut at 5.5 by 11. I have scored it at 4 1/4. I went ahead and scored it at 4 1/4 and also at 6 3/8. And when I score, I would go 4 1/4, and I'd really want to explain this to you. Because when you're doing a fancy fold card and it's going different ways, you want to show how that works. So when I score it, we'll bring up the score thing. So I do this at 4 1/4, and then I turn it over, and then I would do my other score, which is at 6 3/8, which I just bring out my arm and scored at the 6 3/8. That way what I'm doing is I am folding into the mountain on both of the fold lines. So it just goes like that and like that. We also are using this Sparkle Glimmer paper, and it is cut at 1.5 by 8.5. And then I've gone ahead and done the same thing. I scored at 4 1/4 here, turned it over, and then scored again at 6 3/8. This other piece here is 1 1/4 by 3 inches, and I scored it a 1/2 inch from both ends. I actually turned it and scored from both ends. And of course, then it's just going to fold in like that. The other thing, paper was 4 1/4 by 6 inches approximately, and that's for all the different cutouts that I did here. And for this particular card that we're making today, I did a few extra cutouts. I forgot to do this guy, which he's so dang cute, but I forgot to do him. But that's okay. We'll work around that. Of course, the stamp set. We are also going to use Real Red ink pad, Pool Party. I can't for the life of me find my oh, there it is right over there. I don't know if you have a desk when you're creating things, how it gets, but mine gets very, very messy and gets piled up, and then I end up with a little space like this. But that's the way I stamp. What is it? Creative messiness is better than idle. I can't remember how that goes. But anyways, we've got that there. So, and memento, because what we're going to be doing is we are using our Stampin' Blends. And we are using lots of colors of Stampin' Blends. I do coloring classes or coloring clubs. And with those types of clubs, what they do is they get almost all of their colors of the Stampin' Blends. But I'm going to go through and I'll show you some alternate colors that you can use on this as well. So for the green on the card, and I'll bring the card back in so that you can kind of see it here. For the green on the card, I've used either the Shaded Spruce or the Call Me Clover. But you're going to need light and the dark to give some of the shading and that sort of stuff. With the reds, you could use either the Poppy Parade or the Real Red. They both work. I think on this card I use Real Red here, and on here I use Poppy Parade. So it doesn't really matter. You just want a bright card. You don't color. You don't want to use a Cherry Cobbler. I then used light and dark So Saffron, which is a new color in the catalog. But you could get away with the Daffodil Delight or even the Mango Melody you could get away with. For the skin, there's an ivory out there for the skin, but I mix it with the soft petal pink. And the reason I do that is because I find the ivory just gives too much of a yellowy tone on here, where this gives a bit of a yellow, a pinkier tone. So you'll see how that is. I can also use this ivory in some of the hair as well. I use light and dark Crumb Cake and Soft Suede for the hair. And then I used, it was a Smoky Slate for some of the highlighting, and of course the blend as well. So I know it seems like a lot of colors that I'm using, but you can get away with using some of the different colors just depending on how you want your card to look. So we've got the blends. Now, I cheated and I brought in this beautiful Bows tag that was there. And that's what I've got for the inside right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this card. Just leave this here for a bit of a guide. So like I say, we're just going to fold into the mountain on both of those. And yay, I have my bone folder here this time. We're just going to make sure we've got that nice and crisp. And we're going to do the same with the glimmer paper. We're going to fold in and then fold this way as well. And the reason being for that is this is how this goes onto the paper, like so. Okay. And then this piece is also, we're going to fold those in, and I kind of played with those, so it's kind of ripping a little bit, but we can make it work. It's not going to be a bad thing at all. Okay, so with this little stamp here, I'm now taking my Pool Party ink and I'm just taking the snow and I'm just going to put it around the card. Remember to always make sure that you turn your stamp, and you can stamp on and off, but we'll just do this quickly. Kind of like it stamped off. Maybe that's the way I did it on this original card, I don't know. I did this card quite a long time ago. Yeah, I think what we could do is second, third, fourth generations on here. Yeah, because sometimes some snowflakes are bigger than the others, right? And you want to kind of bring it down a little bit. This is not a real highlight. You could also use Versamark on this part here as well. That would give you a lighter colors. But like I say, we're just filling that part in. So just like that. And then I think what we'll do is we'll also stamp that saying in the inside. So what I've gone ahead and done is I've cut these all out. And yes, I did fussy cut. I've gone ahead and cut these all out. I've got one of these just in case I muck this one up by showing you how to do it. I'm pretty good at doing that when I'm on camera, but that's okay. You should see me in a class. Ask any of my participants in my class. So we're going to do that in real red. You could use Poppy Parade as well. So let's do that, and we'll ink this up. Okay, it's upside down. So let's line this up. Oh, that's not going to work because I can't see it. So whenever you're stamping on white or anything like that, just bring a darker color in so that you can see that white where it's actually going to be. So let's see. Now with the camera in the way, we might have a few issues, but let's give it a try. See how well I do. Well, not bad, but because I'm making this card, I'm going to bring the other one in. What I personally would do is I would stamp it first and then cut out the die. It just works a lot better. You can get it more centered and that sort of stuff. So we've got that cut out. I've got all of these trimmed and colored to a point, except for there's no peeking. Just going to bring that back in there. So all I did with that one, just to show you how simple the coloring really was on this no peeking, and that's it here. I just went and I took my light crumb cake, and I just took the brush end and just colored like that. I wanted a little darker, so I just went some spaces a little darker. And then I did go in and I did fussy cut that. And like I said, I've said many times before, fussy cutting, a lot of people don't like it because they take their scissors and do that. Make sure that you just move the paper. By moving the paper, that's what makes fussy cutting so much easier and less stressful for some people. I find it very therapeutic, so just, and wiggle it. That's okay too, right? Okay, so we've got that part. We'll put that on there because we're gonna put our card together. So if I put this on here just like this, kind of looks a little dull. So we're going to bring in those paper snips again. And we are just going to make a very subtle snowfall. Whoops. We don't want any rough ends or sharp ends, but we're just going to make a bit of a snowfall. pretend that it's been kind of windy and the snow has drifted a little bit. I'm making a story up, you realize that, right? Okay, so let's see. That doesn't look too bad. Yep, that's okay. We can just leave it at that. We're also going to, we're going to attach that now. So I am using a tear and tape now. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is a coarser paper. So you want something that's heavier to attach it. So let's just use this tear and tape here. And here. Burnish that on. Now on this piece, because we're putting it onto just this part here, I'm actually going to put the tear and tape there and the tear and tape just a bit here. And does that make sense why I'm doing it that way? Because I don't want the stickiness here. So let's just grab that. Take your pick tool and get these off. Nothing worse than when you give a card and it's coming apart, and if they're not a card maker, they don't know how to put it back together sometimes. So if you're using your adhesives, I strongly suggest that you buy a good brand of adhesives. So we're just going to line that up at the bottom, burnish that down a bit, and line this up at the bottom and at the side. Like that, burnish that. And see, that's where we've got that fold. Now, I don't like this part showing here. It's a white part. I don't know if you can see it. So I'm going to actually take my snips and I'm going to trim that down. Yeah, I can see why they did that. That happened. I'm just going to take that down and trim it just a little bit more. There. See how that works. At least it's the glimmer paper that's showing below there, so that works. Okay, now for the second piece here, this part is going to actually attach to here on this side, oops, further down, about in the middle of this card, or middle of this panel here. And then it's also going to attach to about the middle of this panel. So when we're doing that, we want that to also look like a snow. So see here, this is where the snow is coming here. So when it's attaching to this end here, we want it to be even. So on here, I'm using the tear and tape again. One thing that's very important is that you have a really good edge. Like this, I've been playing with a little bit. On this glimmer paper, it doesn't work that great if you've played with it. So you try not to play with it as much as possible. You see, I have my finger over on this side before it's touched that. So I know I'm going to put that in there. So now this is where we're just going to play a little bit. So I'm going to take this. Where's the piece that's cut? Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'll just do this. That should work. So that's going to tell me where I want to put this. Okay. So see, I want this so where it's attached here that it's fairly even there. So I'm going to take this off, the tear tape off. And it is not. Now this is going to be attaching to cardstock. So it's not near as bad as when it's attaching to another piece of glimmer paper. Whoops, see, that piece is going to rip off. You know, that's ripped there. So I'm going to sneak. I'm going to put some tear tape on the back of it because I want it to be reinforced. So if that ever does happen, you can put this tear tape on the back. See what, it's all come apart there. May have to cut another piece of glimmer paper. Let's see. Just going to cut that off. Okay. We're going to improvise with this piece anyways. And we're going to take this piece of tear and tape off as well. I love this glimmer paper, but the sticking is not as great as what it could be. So I'm just going to line that piece up here, like so, and then line it up on this side. So when you close it, we're still getting a bit of the snowfall there, but we have that. Now, is that gonna, yep. Because it's ripped, I've got a bit of an issue going on in there. Let me just try to fix that just a bit. There we go. I can live with that. Now, would this be the best card to send away? No, probably what I would do after this video is I would replace this part. Okay, so now we're kind of ready to get going on decorating it. So I'm just going to take this and I'm actually going to fold it in half. And I'm going to score it as well. Because I do want it to fit in here, but I'm going to pop it up with dimensionals. I'm going to pop up everything with dimensionals. Now I'm going to bring in both my big dimensionals and my small dimensionals, and we're going to just use whatever we need to use on the particular pieces. So let's put one piece there, one here. Now, another thing with these dimensionals, they do stick really well onto the Glimmer paper, but you can't play with it. Like, you can't keep touching that part, because if you do touch that part, it won't stick. Okay, so we got that there. Oh, got to take this part off there, Diane. There we go. Good stuff. Okay, so we've got that. Now we can go ahead and start decorating. So I can decide, I've got two of these guys. I've got one in green. I'm going to actually put this guy here. So because he's on here, I'm going to Glimmer paper. I'm just going to put the dimensional there, and I'm going to use two dimensionals because I want it to stick on there. Just get that off. Off of there. And another big one up here as well. It's one of those cards that you give to a special person. So, okay, let's put him down, say about there. Let's put him down lower. Put him there. And we'll put this guy. We'll put them, this one, is it a guy or a girl? I'm not sure. Anyways, we're going to put that one up a little higher. This thing here, there we go. And one more. And you know, I'm going to put one more down here because it could be sticking close to the Glimmer paper. We want that extra reinforcement. See, if I played with that, it wouldn't stick afterwards, so we would definitely want it to stick. So let's put that there, and let's put it up that high. Yeah. Okay, so we've kind of got those two pieces there. This little no peeking guy I absolutely love, but I wonder where my green guy went to. Had a green no peeking guy. Oh well, we're going to put this guy right here. And I'm going to put some tear and tape on there. And the reason I am is because it's going on the back of this Glimmer paper. So let's just put a tiny little piece of him there. I'm just going to stick that right there. And I really like that no peeking sign to go right underneath that. So that's where I'm going to use the smaller dimensionals. Just love the fact they have light and dark dimensionals. There we go. Light and dark. Yeah, white, black, and large and small. And did you know that the black dimensionals come in two sizes within one pack? That's kind of a good idea too. Okay, so we're just going to put that no peeking right there. And, you know, I think I need another green guy, and I'm going to cheat because I'm going to cut this guy off. Oh, one other blend I forgot to mention that we used was a light black one. I found that the gray wasn't dark enough for the shoes that are here. And I'm going to take this bauble off. I'm not sure what everyone else calls them, but here, I guess because I'm from an English background, we call them baubles. So I'm going to put this guy like he's playing in the snow back there. Now when it gets closed, we're only going to see part of him, but that's okay. We're good with that. So I'm going to put little dimensionals on him, on his feet. Like I say, we're just sort of playing and putting this guy together now, so. Let's see. This stamp set is so fun. It's just there. Yeah, let's put him there. And yeah, he might. Oh, it doesn't work very good when it's open. Let's put him, oh now, this is where it may not work. If I put that on there onto the, that glimmer paper, it may not work, but let's give it a try. I would suggest that what you do is you turn around and change that. So yeah, that's kind of letting us see a little bit there. Now we have some parcels that we can put on there as well. Let's put some parcels on there. This is a red one, so let's go red over here maybe. Sure. Red and green, and then I can put this one down here. That one already had a dimensional on them. And let's, now where did I put that ornament? That would have been a good thing to put down. Actually, I could even use this box here. And we could put that, tuck that down behind there. And I'm going to actually just use snail on that because it's going right onto the pool party card. Sure, let's put that there. So see, we're just sort of decorating it any which way we want. And no. Maybe we could put an ornament there. Let's put one there. I'm going to put that on with a dimensional as well. Like I say, dimensionals work the best. I found that even the Tombow glue wasn't working as well. So we've got that. Let's decorate it that way. So there we go. There's our card. So what do you think? I've got extras left over. I could put extras on there, but I think that's enough on that card. So I hope that you liked that. If you have any questions or anything like that, please leave a comment below. And if you need any of these supplies and you live in Canada, I would love to be your demonstrator. I have a special going on right now. If you use this hostess code until the end of November, I am giving away a tutorial, and it has over 13 ideas to do for cards with perfect plaids. And that's as my free gift of thank you for that. And also there's the online extravaganza, so there's lots of paper if you're a paper lover. But please leave a comment below. Tell me what you think. Give me a thumbs up. Or even, I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.